Okay, welcome everyone. Here we are. We're at Moorabbin, and I'm going to do part 3 of the Buttkicker setup. Now I have it installed. I've managed to spend a bit of time configuring this, and I'm impressed. In fact, I'm really impressed. It's added another level of realism. So right off the bat, I will say, if you've got the opportunity and you're building a simulator, Buttkicker or some form of transducer that sends vibration through your sim is a well worth addition. I'm really happy with it. I've still got more tweaking to do, and I'll show you what I'm doing at the moment in the software post this practical demonstration. But yeah, really good. Anyway, without further ado, let's just take from a cold startup, and I'll show you and sort of let you, explain to you the vibrations that I'm feeling. I have spent a bit of time with this, tweaking settings, tweaking levels, and I think I've got it dialed in relatively well. Having said that, I will caveat, I'm not a real pilot, and I haven't actually been up in a light aircraft, so I'm kind of anticipating this is what it is. So for those real pilots out there, I would welcome your feedback as to the sorts of vibrations that you do actually feel in a Cessna 172. Appreciating there are a whole bunch of variables, wind and temperatures and pressures and all that kind of stuff, but just generally, perhaps scale of 1 to 10. I'll explain what I'm kind of getting, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bugger all, 10 being it's shaking the absolute crap out of the simulator, and permutations in between. Okay, let's go. Maybe not, because I don't have it started. Let's go again. Well, slight pause there because I didn't actually have the Simuonic gear hooked up to start. So anyway, let's start again. Okay, this is not a real world flight demonstration, so I'm going to bypass all of the procedural stuff purely to demonstrate how the Buttkicker works. So please don't leave comments down below about, oh, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. That's not the intent of today. Beacon lights on. Fuel pump on. Just give that one little push there. Fuel pump off and clear the prop. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. I'll try and adjust this in post if it doesn't work. Okay, so right off the bat, starting the engine. I'm now at idle at just under 1,000 RPM, and I've got a slight vibration, 1 to 10, probably about a 1.5, 2. I can feel it. Just a slight little rumble. Really good. Happy with that. Now let's just taxi out and see what we've got. I'll take off from what are we going to go? Oh, we'll do 3.5 left. So just bear with me. I should have got myself set up before. Incidentally, I know this is purely for the Buttkicker, but I use Navigraph for my simulation work, and I find this really useful. And I would have thought that I would have had that on here, but obviously I don't. IMMB. Moorabbin. Open the charts. Taxi chart, airport info, close. Now with the Navigraph, it also gives me the opportunity where I actually see where I am relative, which is great. So let's taxi out of here. We're on the southern apron at the moment. For those that are familiar with Moorabbin. Okay, so trundling along. Actually, I can go that way. Sorry. Trundling along. Nothing. Oh, slight change now. So they're picking up a little bit of speed. obviously I got a bit more vibration then, which I'm assuming would be the case. We'll just take ourselves a little bit further up here, and I suppose real world, you know, this is X-Plane, by the way, that I use, and again I use X-Plane purely because I think, as I've explained before, over FS 2020 right now, whilst FS 2020 certainly has the graphical advantage over X-Plane, I just generally find, well, it's a reality, for cockpit builders using a multi-monitor setup, X-Plane has the camera configurations and everything else, and provides a lot of flexibility there. And I've heard that also X-Plane's flight model is more realistic than than FS 2020. So, you know, and because of those two reasons is why I'm using X-Plane, and will continue to use X-Plane. I find, you know, I do like the graphics. Obviously, you know, if you're doing a lot of VFR type work, but I'm here for realism, flight model, how that plane actually feels. So that's what I am. Anyway, back to it. Start up, slight vibration. Taxi, I had a little bit more vibration. Let's take ourselves off down the runway here. We'll take off, and again, I've got perfect conditions today. I actually don't have any wind conditions at all, purely just for this demonstration. Here we go. A little bit of right rudder, full power. Okay, that vibration's increasing. Oops, I'm a bit off center line here. Airspeed's alive, 50, 60 and rotate. We're up. Just trim that out a little bit, put the nose down. Okay, so taking off then, I actually felt, I certainly felt that increasing vibration. This is a golf course, I think. Anyone that's familiar with Moorabbin, let me know. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be the golf course that we're flying over here now. And there's Melbourne City in the distance. So yeah, so now I am up. I've got, again, back to a sort of a very dull kind of a vibration, not a lot, and probably not quite as much as what I was experiencing before when I was on the ground at idle. And again, I haven't got this tweaked to turbulence conditions and so on at the moment, so turbulence and stall I haven't done. I just want to, I probably should have done a circuit actually, but and I didn't even set that up at all. So anyway, so nothing happening here. No change in vibration at the moment, other than what I've just, you know, very slight, you know, it just lets me know that the plane's here. We'll just turn downwind, turn that flight director off. So what I might do is now, well, I'll apply the flaps and just see what happens there. I'm certainly way out from a circuit point of view, but anyway, it's not a flight sim procedural thing today. So first notch of flaps being applied. Okay, nose pitches up as we know. Just adjust that a little bit, allow counteract for that. Okay, so I've actually can feel the first notch of flaps applied. The vibrations probably increased to 2-ish, a little bit over 2, but it's sending me a little pulse as if it's trying to simulate air drag, you know, and that sort of turbulent air that's hitting the flaps. Now, what I typically would have happen is I'll apply a second notch of flaps here, and we'll see what that does again. Actually, I'm not too far out from the air, so that's not bad. Okay, second notch of flaps. Nose pitches up. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I'm getting an even more vibration now. Now again, I'd really welcome feedback from real-world pilots in a Cessna 172. When you apply the flaps, just how much does it actually, do you feel it through the plane? Do you feel it at all? Do you hear it? You know, is it just noise? Or is it actually noise and vibration? Or is it nothing at all? I'm assuming you're going to get some sort of vibrational backing out of that, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't had the opportunity. But realistic or not, I actually like to have this feeling of the flaps being applied and a little bit of vibration coming through. You know, it just feels to me like it adds another level of immersion and realism. So we're just going to turn on base here, back onto 3.5, and we'll just slow ourselves down. We're a little bit, probably a little bit low actually. Yeah, I haven't done a proper circuit, and again, because I wasn't really concentrating, so again, apologies for that. I'm way too low, and in fact I've probably turned too early as well, but never mind. So again, I've got second notch of flaps applied. I've got a reasonable amount of a little bit of vibration happening. It does feel good, you know. And now I'll plonk this aircraft down. I might just deliberately put it down hard, just to see if I get a bit of a thump through it. So let's hope it doesn't explode. But we'll see. So we'll just turn on to onto 3.5. All right, so yep. So definitely getting the vibration through the air. You know, it feels really good. And again, a lot of this is auto-gen scenery, so it probably doesn't look quite like it does Moorabbin, but you know, it's meant to be. It's pretty realistic. Anyway, we're dropping pretty quickly here. Let's see what happens. Right now, I've got vibration through the flaps, and that's what I'm feeling. And let's see what happens once I hit the deck. I will do a slight flare, but not too much. Alright, so I'm just going to plonk it down. Let's just see. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, yep, and again, you know, so, yeah, felt that. That was deliberate. I don't normally land like that, just point that out there. Look, that sent a thump through the sim, and that's good. That's what I wanted to feel. I wanted to make sure that you know, what we ultimately felt was a. I'm driving completely the wrong way here. Haven't even gone off on a taxiway. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here. Actually, I might just take ourselves off. I just don't feel right being on a runway, even though it's no one around at the moment. I'm not even online on VATSIM or anything, but just, you know, to take myself off. Let's just park over here. Okay, handbrake on. So yeah, that's it. Takeoff, roll, vibration, flaps, landing, really good. It's a thumbs up for me for a butt kicker. I would thoroughly recommend it. It adds another layer of realism to this sim. Yeah, look, for those that are building, go for it. It's worthwhile. Great investment. Yeah, I'll keep tuning it and would welcome feedback below, but I will tune post this. I want to get some more stuff around turbulence, the stall. I haven't got it configured for stall, but let me take you now and I'll show you on the software side. I'm using XP Realistic Pro and personally I'm finding it really good. Alright, we'll go over there. Thanks. Okay, this is the software side of things, as I talked about before, and I'm using XP Realistic version 2, and this is a payware app for X-Plane, and I like it a real lot. Initially I used to use this purely for the sounds. It added another layer of realism from a sound perspective, as you could customize each of the sounds for your particular aircraft, and I used it for that. But now I'm finding that I'm able, because of those sounds, I'm able to use it for the butt kicker. I've been progressively working through each of these to see, how much of an effect I get, and I'll just give you an example of one. So the flaps drag, which I talked about in the previous section of this video here, if I hit preview, and you can hear that vibration there. So that's with the flaps at 50%. Now as this increases, you'll hear the difference in the sound. So let's take that up to 75%. And that's gone slightly louder again, the rumble, and then all the way to 100. And you may not be picking it up, but it's certainly giving a higher level of vibrational sound, or sound if you like, resonating sound, which is what the butt kick is interpreting. So that does work really well, and then you can turn that down to bugger all. And then you can simulate movement and also the amount of rumble you get. So, tweak this. Now that's got the rumble all the way up. Turn this all the way up, and you can definitely hear that. You see the difference, as opposed to flaps all the way down. Excuse, that's another aircraft starting up in the background in X-Plane. And then turn that down as well. Okay. Okay, that worked better. I could pause that out of the background. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's it. So really, in a case of just playing with each of the settings, I've played with overspeed, ground roll, ground effect. As I said, stall is one that I'm playing with at the moment. So, that's the stall. You're obviously not going to hear the sound because I've got the sim paused, but it does work quite well. There it is, you can hear the sound. I just wanted to get that sound out of the way. And that's it. So, yep, I find that this works well for what I need in the aircraft simulator. Any questions, leave them in the link below. Yeah, and I'm more than happy to talk in a bit more detail about each of these settings. But as I say, I think it's just going to be a case of, progressively tweaking over time. And either through feedback that I get from a pilot and or me getting in the air and actually physically feeling the sorts of vibrations you get in a 172, which I'm sure I'll do at one point down the track. We do have some local airfields near where I live, so I should take that opportunity on board. I can dial this in progressively. But, yep, that's it for now. Talk to you soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.